we go again.
He's Kennedy, my brother from another mother.
What's going on?
Hey man, y'all started school just yet?
Nah.
We back at it, man. This week was the first week in Georgia. Actually, some of the other surrounding more like outwards, like middle Georgia, even further up north. They started last week though, man, which is crazy to think that they were starting school in July, like July 30th or 31st. But yeah, man, we back at it out here in Metro Atlanta though, man, and it's been pretty cool. It's I didn't realize how much of an adjustment it actually is though, man, because with the traffic, you kind of got to look at it in the morning times versus things being more open up again during the lunchtime hours though. So it's been pretty cool though.
That's what's up. Uh what do you wear the first day?
So first day, man, he wound up wearing his little so he wore the one of the things that I just can't get with, and I'm gonna say I can't get with, and I think it looks cool on them, is the boxy fit kind of shirts where it's the box tee, but then it's the shorter ones, right? They come right at your pants line though, right? And just, to my eye, it looks cool, right? But it's something that I think I would never wear, but also something that I wouldn't have worn back then. There's just certain things that to my eye, it just ain't me. But you know me, I'm picky on what I wear, so especially
Yeah.
on how stuff fits though.
Yeah. Man, I've been on the big shirts for a minute. So yeah, that just
Yeah.
I knew you was gonna say that.
No. Can't get down. Listen, to me, I look at it like this though, man. Like I went through a very conscious effort to slim down. Now that I'm older, I want to get slimmer. So I'm not gonna go ahead and cover all that up by wearing bigger clothes though. Nah, man, they gonna
Nah,
get this
nah, nah,
slim, bro.
nah. It's not really gonna be like that though, bro. Like you so the boxier shirts just are cut different, right? It ain't like it's just gonna cover it up, bro.
I don't
Stop.
want you. I don't want it. Listen, I don't want to wear anything that's that wide.
Yeah.
Right? That's just like the shorts, right? I'm not gonna like so I know that people that I think is now this is the one thing I think it is cool. I think that for Landon, I think it is pretty cool that he never really wears shorts, like jean shorts, basically though, right? So that's one thing that's pretty cool because he'll just wear sweats and sweat shorts all day long and never come out of them, though, man. So I think that that's the one thing that I think that I see that's refreshing is to actually see him wearing jeans and jean shorts, though, man. And I
Mhm.
can kind of tell that he's tapped into that whole fashion bug now, whereas to before it was just all about I don't know, kinda like his version of what I like. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, I like a lot of sportswear stuff and it's comfortable, but I wanted to look fly. And I think that he had his version of it. And so I think it's cool to see him kind of step outside of that and then go in a different lane though, bro. So yeah. It's pretty dope.
Yeah. Well, look, let's get this music popping out so we can get into everything.
Let's do it.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast
If you
of all time.
smell what the rock. It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Yep.
Listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube and Facebook pages. We're live on both platforms at the same time. Whenever you click on the notification, you click on the bell, you get the heads up whenever your boys and Miss doing anything. Ace Kennedy. Hey man, did you see that the boy, I think it's Devon Franklin, Megan Good's ex, has gotten remarried.
Nah, I don't be keeping up with that.
Yeah, I thought that it was pretty interesting though, man, because like he's a pastor, right? And I
Mhm.
don't know how it necessarily looks to have a single pastor out there, but I would imagine that if you're a pastor and you're dating, that you date with the intent of marriage, though. Is that
Mhm.
fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I thought it was cool. I think that this girl is kind of like a fitness kind of celebrity or on that fitness influencer tip. And no, it looks very cool. I think the one thing that was very interesting about it is that they had a lot of celebs that were there though, man. And I guess I thought that that's kind of cool in the sense that Megan Good is also a lifetime celeb. And while he, from a national perspective, isn't like her, like he isn't necessarily an actor, actress. I thought that it was pretty cool that other celebrities still attended his wedding, whether it was for the support of him or her. Like nobody just picked sides like that. They're on a TV or news scale. Nobody said nah. I'm on it. Yeah, I thought it was real cool though, man.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, anytime when the church is looking for a first lady, I think that's dope.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Real dope, no man.
And you made me forget what I was about to ask you too. I can't think of it. I guess we can jump into the whole Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones saga. Get off into that.
Just want to be listen. As somebody who hates the Cowboys, I got a conspiracy, bro. But let me tell you, but I love it. I love it. I think, bro, that I think this is my conspiracy. Secretly, I think that they already have a deal
Hmm.
in the works, right? I think they already probably have a deal lined up. It would behoove me if they didn't, right? I would just be blown away. But I think that Jerry Jones loves to get a headline, right? For the Cowboys for the summer every year, right? There's something. He did the same thing with CD Lamb. He did the same thing where he did the same thing where he had this a couple of years ago where he did the same thing with Dak. And I think that what happens though, man, is that Jerry Jones just has his way of stealing the NFL headlines in the off seasons. He'll do it in the regular season with his radio show and all this, but he doesn't have his radio show that people are tapped into now. So on a national scale, it's like, what else can he do to basically kind of keep the Cowboys in the headline and relevant in the offseason, though, bro? So while I think that they probably already have a deal that's just not signed this yet, though, bro, I love the fact that Michael Parsons asked for a trade because you think though, in theory, he's not going anywhere
Right.
because they haven't even gotten to where you franchise tag him yet, right? They can franchise tag him, I believe, for 2 years, right? But it's just like everybody always says, well, why don't Jerry Jones just get ahead of these and pay people earlier because Miles Garrett said he wanted to be traded. They paid him. He got record deal. TJ Watts got a record deal. And so now, when you could have extended Micah last year and got ahead of this, now you got to break the bank. And I just think that Jerry Jones is smart enough with controlling the cap to where they don't already have it. I would be surprised if they don't.
Well, he did come out and say, first of all, he told Cowboy fans not to lose no sleep over it. But he also said that he offered Micah something. He said, I already offered him some money, and y'all would be surprised about what I offered him. But the problem is, he ain't talking to Micah Parsons' representative. He only talked
Okay.
to Micah. And
Okay.
so, First Take them obviously was debating that today, and they was just like, bro, you wrong. Like, you shouldn't be talking about that with the player. You should be talking to his representation. Like, because, the buzzwords for fans is like, oh, he offered him some money, right? But what's the terms? Like, what's the guaranteed? How many years? Like, there's a lot of stuff going into it. It's not just about the money per se. Yes, the money is important, but what are all the incentives that come with it? What what happens if he makes the Pro Bowl? You know, how many sacks did he get? Like, there's a lot of details that go in them contracts. That's just not about just the bottom dollar. So he should be talking
There's
to
a
the refs.
guy, listen, he should be because here's the thing. This is why that's important. There's a rookie out there in for Cincinnati who has been holding out all the way through. He hasn't even signed his deal with them, all because the Bengals are trying to be cheap to put in some kind of clause about conditioning where it's so subjective that if they see that he's not in shape or whatever, that they can, basically opt out of certain, guarantees or years and everything like that, no other franchise has done it. And I don't know why they're specifically trying to do that with him. He was like, no, not going forward. And this dude was a kid out of Texas A&M. And it was like, hey, with all reports, this boy is back out at Texas A&M practicing with Texas A&M as if he is about to line back up with them. And they were talking like a possibility of him voiding out altogether, being drafted with the Bengals and him running it back to be redrafted if possible. So I agree, running that with the agents, and if Jerry just wanted to toss out some of the mainstays, if you say, hey, 4-year deal, $30 million a year, $40 million a year is the structure. We can get into the details, and Mike will be like, all right, well, let me run it by my peoples. I guess that's okay. But I think that one of the things that's interesting about this whole thing is the spin it came because Jerry Jones had referenced, you know, um, his not necessarily displeasure, but he didn't have the best experience negotiating with Dak. Dak
Mhm.
said, "Hey, you had your opportunity for me to give you the hometown discount, and you made me play through all of my rookie contract, right?" So I guess Jerry Jones had this thing about working with agents. Well, the funny part about this though is he had referenced Dez Bryant and talking about working with Jay-Z and them. He was signed to Rock Nation, right? And Dez Bryant came out and spoke about that and was like, listen, there was a lot of lies that was told about me during my time in Cowboy Nation that I didn't speak on and everything like that. But he probably shouldn't be talking about my negotiations now because there's some things that I could say. And I was just blown away that listen, just like clockwork, man. Nicki Minaj inserts herself into the group chat though, bro.
About
And
Jay-Z.
she gets in, yeah, she gets into it because she has long had this thing about Jay-Z and them owing her money. Rock Nation, owing her something like $10 million or whatever the number is, though, right? But bro, I think the part that gets me the most is she goes way left field and then starts basically talking about, what I'm saying, about the boy Dez putting his hands on his mama. And she is just digging, I mean, just doubling down on her position with Rock Nation and her experience with them and this, that, and other. And then she kind of just basically talking this stuff about him and pulls her husband into it. And naturally, her husband's always going to be an easy target because he is a registered sex offender,
Yep.
right? And she's always maintained that he has been falsely accused about something that happened when him and this girl was 16 years old or whatever. But he is a registered sex offender, and she's been fighting this thing with him since forever. But she says to him, to Dez Bryant in the text in a roundabout way, "Oh yeah, you talking that? I would pay the $10 million to see you fight my husband." And listen, listen. It sounded very much Ace like Nicki Minaj. Just maybe, how like one of those that you just believe that your husband can whoop anybody,
Right.
right? And that boy Dez Bryant said, "Set it up and I will whip that boy in front of you for the $10 million." So Ace Kennedy, what is her husband's response though, bro? What is his take?
He better be. I don't know, bro. That's a lot of confidence.
It's a lot of confidence. And listen, I think that Dez Bryant is still in shape. Now she must know something about him that maybe other people don't know,
Mhm.
right? Like maybe he is, always trains as a world-class boxer. Because Dez Bryant, I'm gonna assume that he was just out of the league just 4 years ago. And unless he just fell off, I would like to think that he's still in pretty good shape and everything like that. But
Yeah.
Dez Bryant is still an NFL wide receiver size. And if I had to put my money on that situation, naturally, I would have to put my money on the athlete. Not to say that all athletes can fight, because you know where I stand with NBA players. But I think, though, man, if we're talking about in a street fight, just on the conditioning alone, I'm more inclined to go with the NFL wide receiver, though, bro.
Yeah. Nah, that girl Nikki, boy, she wilding.
That's like not like that's you, your wife signing you up for a fight. So she's picking a fight for you. Now maybe he's on the background co-signing this or whatever. But I'd imagine that there's never going to be a scenario where they line up and shoot the fade, right? So I guess you got to double down on it if you him and talk your piece, because the likelihood of y'all actually getting into it and running the fade though, bro, like nah, it's just it don't seem like it. So I don't know, bro.
Yeah. I hope
Nikki's
that
been on
man.
some weird. Nikki has been very on some weird stuff for Twitter for the last little while, because she just came off of this back and forth with SZA,
Hmm.
where she was talking this stuff about SZA, and when she was talking this stuff about SZA, she was talking about as if she didn't, nobody knows, like SZA could stop making music now, and nobody, but people just will forget about her music. Nobody really knows it like that, and so she went back and forth for a little while to where SZA had to post receipts like, "Yo, this is the message that you sent my manager about doing a song, and he told you I was in album mode wrapping up some stuff, but you are familiar with my catalog because you reached out to try to get me to do this and provided the receipts though, bro." And I don't know where that left, but it's weird though, man, because I just think that outside of the music though, bro, and I'm told you I'm a huge Nicki fan. I just don't think that she's been doing herself any favors with some of these things that she's been inserting herself into, bro.
Where is the music, Lashandra?
Where is the music, man? Golly.
Yeah, nah.
That solves everything though, bro. It solved because I last musically, the last thing I saw her jump in on the Lil Wayne remix, which I didn't like that song to begin with. So her jumping on the remix didn't do anything for me. But man, I mean, like I know that when Nicki dropped the album, what, last year?
Was it the Pink Print 2 or something?
Yeah, so that may have been 2 years ago. Like she's due for another one. Like even if it hadn't been that, even if that was last year, right? She's due for another one. So, maybe we'll get another Nicki this year, and that's why she's doing these antics though, bro.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you was mentioning the whole scissor thing. What happened was another one of the manager's artists had a album called or a song called something about Barbies or something. And so Nikki
Yeah,
thought it was a slight at her. And that's where it
yeah.
all stemmed from. That's why she was trying to drag the management into it. But yeah, yeah, she definitely is just out. She just speaking out on everybody. Just think
She
everybody's after her.
And you know what's crazy though, man? People always be talking about Nicki Minaj. They always have this rumor of her about her being on drugs though, bro. And I think that it's because she has this voice and this tone that she uses on Pink Pink Radio, where she's dragging out her words. It sounds like a slur a little bit. And it's this tone when you think like, bro, she seemed like she owns something though, bro. And she was on that heavy when she was talking about SZA though, bro. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, man, Nikki. I don't want to see Nikki. I don't want to see Nikki damage. Not to say she's going to damage her legacy, but she's getting up there, man. She's over 40. And I don't want to see Nikki start to come across as the disgruntled fine auntie, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, nah.
Yeah. I want her to have a dope song come out. You know what I'm saying? But
Dude,
yeah.
all of this so far, if I'm keeping it a stack, so far Wayne is the only artist that I've heard music from who's over 40 where it wasn't smacking, right? So I fully think that Nikki is capable of it. I want to see her continue that run of the 40 plus crowd still putting out classic hitting music though, bro. And
Yeah,
not to say that Wayne's album wasn't. It just wasn't what I think everybody thought it was gonna be.
yeah. Speaking of music, we had talked some weeks ago about the Clips album, and
Yeah.
I did listen to it, and yeah, I was thoroughly impressed. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Like I said, it to me, it's up there. And like I said, I've heard the exhibit, I've heard the Snoop Dogg. I started listening to the new Raekwon. It's dope. But I'm talking about like it's top tier rapping, right? It's when you talk about like when you say no, there are levels, and it's one of the things that to me that the one thing I appreciate about the Clips album and some of these older artists' albums, right, is that I've always maintained that as a rapper, that you just get better with time, right? And I think that maybe I would imagine that on R&B that you could lose your voice, you can lose your tone over the years, but I think that with rap, you always have the bars, right? You always have the know-how, and it just gets better, though, right? And I just would imagine that when you put out the albums as an older artist, that it's like you got that grandma's recipe and it's always going to hit and it's just going to get better and better. And I think that that's where I've been seeing a lot of the 40 plus crowd go, man.
Yo, I know this ain't 40 plus crowd, but have you heard the new Joyner Lucas yet?
No, I want to though. And here's what I want. The reason why I want to go to it is I don't know why I want to see what this UK beef is about, right? Because
It's
for
Drake.
some reason,
It's
huh?
Drake. It's Drake. It's Drake's fault. Drake was overseas touring, and then he basically said there's no rapper better than UK rappers or London rappers or whatever. And so
Before I heard Drake say that though, before I heard Drake say that, I think it's Skepta, whatever his name is. He basically was saying, yeah, we coming at US artists. They cool, but they not better than us though, right? And so then I saw the Jordan Lucas. Then I saw Drake basically come and co-sign that. Now, fast forward, Drake has a song with Central C, right? Um, and it just made that statement make sense now, right? It was
yeah,
calculated to me.
but I'm saying the Joyner Lucas response though came after Drake though, is what I'm saying. Like,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. I never by the way, I haven't heard either one.
me
I
neither.
just know that there's a thing, and this is the thing I think that's crazy to me about that, right? So I think that it's funny because Landon told me, hey, hey, you heard my boy Drake new song? Because he is a Drake fan. Now, this is funny because Drake, I think Drake still is his favorite rapper, even
Mhm.
if to him he's like, oh no, I like old Drake, which is funny because the old Drake for him was when he was like 10 years old, right? It's like I like the Drake music from 10 years ago. But I say, what's going on with this? Let me play it. I play it. I see that he got Central C on it. I said, bro, if Drake is rapping like a UK with a UK accent, I'm gonna lose it. He busts out laughing because soon as Drake comes on, he has a UK accent. I didn't even want to listen to it at all because I think that I low key the sound of UK rappers just it's like nails to a chalkboard. It's so ear piercing to me that there's one rapper from the UK, two that I think, and I can't remember dude's name that I'll say no, I enjoy, but the proper English, bro, nah, I can't.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
I haven't heard it, but I know Drake's about to drop a new album though.
Yeah, he's been hitting that Iceman for quite some time. I think the one thing that is crazy to me though, bro, this is the reason why I was very surprised about the reason why I was like lost when it came to the Drake doing the UK accent. So far I've heard Drake do a UK accent. He sounded like he was from Atlanta before because he used Atlanta slang. He uses it well. He sounded like he was from Houston, right? He was very heavily influenced by Houston and Memphis. he's on a song, did the West Indies, and I'm not mad at that because Canada has very heavy West Indian influences and the population there as well. But I've heard him on the last Drake with Party. He had a song where he had like a Spanish accent. And don't get me wrong, it's cool that you've been world traveled and you can pull this song off though, bro. But I don't want to see. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear Drake do a song with a French artist, and then now you got a French accent, bro. Like, just be Drake on them songs. I'd imagine that they want to hear you. They want to do a feature with you, not their country version of you, though, bro. So
Yeah.
now it's crazy. But when I heard him do the Spanish accent, like it was called, the song is called Padre, I think it was, and he's singing, and he has a feature for some Mexican artists on it, or an artist on there, bro. And I just fell out when I heard him do the Central C accent, though, bro. I said, "Oh my gosh, man, it's insane,
Yeah.
insane, bro."
Bro, did you watch SummerSlam?
Right, so I am planning to. I'm hoping to watch because today I want to watch. I didn't watch Raw, and I didn't watch SummerSlam, but I am looking to watch it because I've seen enough of the highlights of it and the videos of it to know from the clips what happened. But I want to see it myself still before I go back and watch Monday Night Raw because watching a Monday night after a pay-per-view was a big deal, right? And so it at least feels like it has that vibe to it now, though, man. So I still plan on doing it though.
Bro, some classic WWE tropes, like some storyline payoffs that were great. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I will say,
Man, Fred, listen, I don't, you know me. Don't. I don't have no issue with you getting straight to
all
it.
right, all right. First of all, night one, uh so the night one was the main event was Gunther and CM Punk. Real good match. Real good match. It was like an old school WWE match though, like where it's not a lot of real big moves, but the storytelling within the match was dope. And
Gunther don't got a lot of big moves too, by the
he
way. That's
don't,
why.
but here's the thing. One thing that even though you don't like him, one thing about Gunther though, he is very consistent. Like he like wrestlers that like I've heard Bubba Ray talk about him. Like when you hear other people talk about Gunther, they just like, yo, he goaded, bro. And I know
So
you hate.
listen, he is consistent, right? Because I think he's boring every single time. Like there's never not been a time where I didn't think he was bored. So I give him consistency though,
Okay.
bro.
So anyway, they had it to where CM Punk just couldn't get none of his stuff off. I mean, that boy Gunther was stopping him every which way. And then they had this turn to where Gunther was standing on the desk and CM Punk was able to swipe his leg and he fell. And when he came up, he was busted open. And so he's just like, oh, like just couldn't believe he was bleeding. And you just had this little shred of hope that CM Punk was going to win. And somehow he pulls it off. And it was dope because he did the go to sleep the first time. And when he hit it, Gunther hit his head back, like his head went back and he spit up in the air. It just, how like when the Rock takes the rock bottom, he does
Yeah,
the
yeah,
flip.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
when he hit it, and he was like dazed because he wouldn't fall backwards. And so CM Punk grabbed him again and did it again, and finally got him to tap. And so they got this whole moment because they like, yo, CM Punk ain't held a title since this time. He is sitting up here just like in tears, holding it, bro, and they are just letting it. They just like you probably about to see the logo and everything. And man, that boy. And so the build up though. So then you got Seth Rollins who recently got hurt. You know what I'm saying? He was on main event. He was fighting LA Knight, and they had to call an audible. Like he got hurt. The ref had threw up the X sign. The doctor came out. And he was like, yo, my knee, my knee. So they was like, all right, we got to just wrap the match up. So he kind of like stood up and he's like hobbling. LA Knight does his finisher and boom, it's over. Like, and so everybody's been like speculating, like, bro, is
You
this
think
dude?
that was a work? Was that a work against
That's
LA Knight?
not with LA Knight. Like, I don't like nobody knows the details, but I'm talking about I mean, they selling it, bro. I'm talking about every time he's out, he's on crutches. He went on the Rich Eisner show. He's doing the whole bit, right? So
Man, yeah.
so CM Punk just won. He is in tears, and he hears Rollins' music hit, bro. And everybody, he's coming out on the crutches. And so then the Walrus comes out with the briefcase, bro. And he's standing on top of there, and he's pointing at the briefcase. And Seth Rollins was like, "Hey, when I get healthy, I'm letting you know I'm cashing in on you." So he turns around, is about to walk out, and then he stands there, puts them arms out, let the crutches fall, turns around, pulls the brace off. Everybody is losing it, bro. I'm talking about they screaming hard. They screaming hard. He takes the jacket off, grabs the briefcase, runs down to the ring, bro, slides the briefcase to the ref. She's like, "Hey, he cashing it in." That boy took the briefcase and started beating CM Punk with the briefcase, bro. Turned him over, pinned him, and won the belt, bro. Everybody was like, "Oh!" So that is a storyline going into not the Raw. So I'll leave that for you to see, because
Yeah.
there's a storyline piece for that. But it was dope just because they built it up. Like, CM Punk gotta win this. Like, you don't bring CM Punk back to WWE and he don't get a belt. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's that long storyline stuff, because you know that him and CM Punk really don't rock with each other. They got history. They brought the history up on the Unreal thing
Man.
on Netflix. So it's so dope. So it's the one up on CM Punk. Because here's the thing. It's like when CM Punk, uh, Roman Reigns and Seth fought at WrestleMania. That was the thing that CM Punk always said. Like, since I've been back in the WWE, bro, you ain't beat me yet. So it was like that stamp. And then what it does, you can now build up a WrestleMania match with CM Punk and Seth, and hopefully CM Punk can pull it off. But it's just that the long-term storyline booking, bro. So then
Yeah. That's
uh
good slow burn, bro. Very good slow
it
burn.
was great, but the swerve, because like you said, he said, "Man, Becky Lynch was so mad at me," because he went back on the Rich Eisner show, and they was like, "Bro, like, really? Like, you came on the show, you hobbled all in here, like you had us all believing you talking about you didn't schedule your surgery and all the stuff." And he was like, "Yeah," he said, "The only thing," he said, "my wife was mad that she had to play along with this ruse." And she was like, "I told my daughter that I had a pretend boo-boo, and she went and told her kindergarten teacher. So we had to basically like swear this teacher to secrecy, bro." We was like luckily she didn't go to the dirt sheets or whatever, and we was able to keep it all a secret. And so he was like, "Yeah, they calling it like the ruse of the year." But yeah, it
That's rich.
yeah.
That's very rich, bro.
So what's crazy, because you know me, I'm behind the scenes guy, so I'm watching Wrestle Talk and everything. And so what they heard was that Dave Meltzer only heard one person that said that it was a work, like that they knew that, like, basically everybody else thought it was real. But there was one person reporting that it was a work, like they was planned for him to do this injury spot. But it still never really came out. Like, nobody was really sure, like, is it? Everybody was kind of speculating that it could be, but it still worked out. Like, it was one of those, like, the Triple H thing. Because like Triple H, one of the other things he did before was where he had Kevin Owens beat up Cody Rhodes, but it was fan footage. Like, there was no WWE cameras, but they knew that fans was leaving the arena, and so they could see them down there talking about Cody's bus, and Kevin Owens beat him up, and they planned it like that. All of that's in the Unreal doc. And so Triple H has been constantly trying to do stuff like that, to where, kind of leaning more toward the realism stuff a little bit. But night two, so I don't know if you knew, but John Cena was back to being a baby face. So
No, I
yes,
didn't know that.
okay. So on SmackDown, uh, he basically was like, "Listen, I'm not fighting you at SummerSlam. I'm tired. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm sorry that you want to fight me." And so Cody beat him up, and while he was unconscious, he made him sign the contract. And so this so now this is SmackDown before the show, before SummerSlam, and Cena came out there. He said, "Man, listen." He said, "You lit a fire up under me." He said, "You reminded me what's up." Like, yeah, like you said, you wanted to fight the real Cena. You don't want this, heel Cena, whatever you want to call it. He was like, "Listen, I know I've been on some BS," and he was like, I kind of forgot about the whole uh hustle, loyalty, respect. He said, so you want to fight the best, I'm gonna give you the best of me. So it was dope how they set it up because Cody came out first. So then Cena, when he's been coming out new, he's been had the black Tron, like no lights. It's just a plain John Cena white. He's wearing the belt backwards. You know what I'm saying? He ain't running to the ring. He walking the whole deal. So they started out when the John Cena music hit, it was still the black and white with no colors. And then when the beat kicked in, all the colors came, and bro, the crowd was just litty, bro. I'm talking, it was so loud. They was booing Cody during the match, bro. This was John Cena's best match since he's been back. Like he looked like the old Cena. Like they was doing, because it was a street fight, and they was pulling it all. And Cody was doing some healer stuff. Like he had at one point took the buckle off and was beating Cena with it like that. So he ends up winning the match. Cody ends up winning the belt. So of course, they do the whole respect thing, shaking hands, like, hey, he the dude. So, he runs off. And so it's just Cena in the ring, and they like, thank you, Cena. Like he's doing the wave, what I'm saying, doing
So
his
when is it? His last is in October, right?
December.
December. Okay, so it's all the way through the end of the year.
Yeah. So he's, doing because this is his final Summer Slam. So he's just, and his probably his final time in that city in New York.
Yeah.
So he's, doing the bow, doing his thing, bro. All of a sudden, that boy Brock Lesnar's music hit, bro. And he come on down there, and Brock, he got on like a vest, he got on a hat, hair looking cold. He chilling, he's standing outside the ring. He takes his vest off. He's still just standing there, ain't doing nothing. Finally, he takes his hat off, jumps in the ring, and F5s the boy Cena and left him there. But so that's a big controversy because the reason why Brock has been removed from everything WWE because of the Janelle Grant case, whoop whoop. And so right after he debuted, her legal team was like, y'all gonna regret doing this, putting that y'all done made a mistake by putting that boy back out there. You don't know what's popping. Like, yeah, all right. So yeah, but I mean, SummerSlam felt dope. Like they had some good matches. There were some whack matches, but like the tag team match, the tables, ladders, and chairs tag team match, cold. You had a tag team. I didn't even know who they were. Your boy Ray Phoenix was in it. Him and Andrade
Like he would do something dope.
He did something dope. There was how, because the belts are hanging up, right? This fool did something to where he ran and jumped up on the shoulders of Andrade and touched the belts. It was so dope, bro. It looked like he was about to pull them joints down. The boy Tommaso Ciampa was hanging up from the belts, bro, and they had brought the ladder up and he swung his legs up. And so then Johnny Gargano did something and then finally was able to get the ladder back. And that boy Montez Ford had popped up on top of the ladder. They did some dope stuff.
Let me tell you this. You just brought up something. You bring up two people that I still think very underused. I think Thomas Ciampa, I thought he was so dope. Like to me, he looks like a classic villain, right? And I remember when he was in NXT, he was like that. He was like to me, he was like one of the first real villains, right? But then I still wonder when this boy, how much longer is Montez Ford gonna be on the tag team? Because he's to me seems like he is a solo to me, bro.
I mean, I just know Dawkins is his boy, bro. But what's crazy, you wouldn't even recognize Tommaso Ciampa right now, bro, because his beard is lower. He got the Saturn beard now, and it feels like since he cut his beard, he's even more cut up, bro. Like he is ripped. He is ripped, bro. Yeah. So yeah, but they had a new tag team, and they are like when because Bray Wyatt, I mean Wade Barrett was like, "Yo, this is the fastest tag team I've ever seen in my life," and was not he was not underestimating that. Like
Who?
Wade
Wade Barrett.
Barrett,
Who's the fastest?
he's this new tag team. I forgot what they call. I don't even know who this team was. I've never seen them before, but
Yo,
they are cool.
Ciampa looks cut up more because it looks like he cut his chest hair off, bro. Yeah,
Yeah,
that boy, he looks cold to me though, bro.
yeah. He ripped. DIY is they tag team name.
I've heard DIY before.
Yeah, that's
DIY, didn't they come from
NXT.
maybe that's what it is though.
See
Yeah.
what it was. They tried to trick us. Like they tried to make it seem like the NXT was not connected to the main roster verse, right? Because on NXT, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano was fighting. They were going after the belt, having these classic matches against one another.
Yeah.
And they were also on the main roster as DIY as the tag team, going after the tag team championship. And they was trying to pretend like the NXT wasn't in the same multiverse as the main roster. Said, y'all boys is tripping like you trying to say like you just saying the main roster is a whole different universe, bro. Don't pay attention
No
to
way.
the NXT. That's exactly what they was doing, bro. When they
Oh,
because they
different trademark.
whole
Didn't
different
matter. Huh?
trademark. It was like if they own WWE TV, nah, they a tag team, but on NXT, they the boys over there fighting to the death over there. Like it was
That is
crazy.
insane, man.
But
No,
no,
that's I'm excited to watch it though, man. Like I said, I definitely I wanna see it all the way through. But I gotta watch it before I watch Raw. And I didn't get a chance to watch Raw yesterday. So that's why I was like, I didn't get a chance to, even if I did, I wasn't gonna watch it until I saw it though.
yeah. It
Yeah.
was your girl's best match. Jade Cargill. It was her
Oh
best
yeah?
match. Yeah. Because I mean, here's the thing. While I think she is a star, right? Clearly, she looks like a star, but you can tell that she still is a little behind on the wrestling. And that's no disrespect to her. I think the people that she works with are all doing an incredible job to try to catch her up or to make her look good. And I thought that Tiffany Stratton did an amazing job on making it feel better. You can still see some stuff, but I'm saying for the most part, it was clearly her best match though.
I saw that they still got Naomi out there doing her thing, and I like this version of Naomi as a heel anyway. This version of her as a heel, I think it's real dope.
Yeah.
I thought, WWE, they will always have Charlotte waiting behind the shadows to go ahead. I thought they was going to Charlotte her though, bro.
Nah. Charlotte and Alexa Bliss were going after the tag championship. I told you they like, and it was the best move for her because when Charlotte came back, they was trying to force her down your throat because again, she won the Royal Rumble, and they was having her on that run, and they were booing the crap out of her. Like they were not rocking with her. The moment they put her with Alexa Bliss, the biggest pop in the building, bro. Like,
Yeah.
so she been killing it. But like I said, a bunch of good matches. They did like a little throwback to the Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio match because what's my boy AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio fought for a belt. And then the Roman Reigns and Jey Uso match against the cronies for Seth Rollins. That was a decent match too.
All them boys, the cronies. I saw something that they're gonna be called Division.
Yeah, Division. I saw that. Yeah.
I think that's so whack. I think that like you mean to tell me that's all creative could come up with. Like
They did,
somebody said,
but that's the thing.
Guess what they're gonna be called. You ready for this?
The Visionary
Division.
and the Vision.
That's
The Visionary and the Vision.
no, that's whack. It's whack. It's so whack to me.
Yeah. Nah,
But listen. You brought up Dom. I thought Dom was whack, and he ain't never been more popular though, bro.
the crowd loves Dom, bro. And this is what's crazy. So WWE recently partnered with AAA, which is that's like the all Mexican wrestling squad. That's where Vikingo is at. The dude, you do know Vikingo from AEW. He's the dude. We always called him like the Viking, the dude with the black hair that be doing all the.
Yes.
He's signed with AAA. Well, also, your boy, oh my gosh, El Patron is his name now. We knew him as
Alberto Del Rio.
Alberto Del Rio. He was with AAA, and so that's a bad. You remember he had the grape allegations against uh what's my girl Paige.
Yo. Okay, so listen. If you bring him back or you are affiliated with him as well, do you kind of believe his story then?
Listen, they already fixed it. He had a career match, like when whoever lose their career over, and he lost that, so he done. He already done. So they didn't
Oh,
exit
he's
it.
already been wrote off. They wrote him off.
They didn't wrote him off already.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, basically, because all the AAA wrestlers are basically had to sign TKO contracts. Like, so once the TKO acquired them, then they signed the TKO contracts, and I'm sure that was like, we're gonna have to let him go.
That's crazy, bro. Dang.
Yeah, but
Did
no,
he go to AEW at some point?
who?
Alberto Del Rio.
No, Andrade did, but
Andrade did,
yeah. Because at one point they was gonna bring that boy Flair over there, Ric Flair, but then that behind the dark side of the ring thing came out right when he was supposed to go over there, and they had the 86 that quick. They had already brought like his energy drink over there because they had the Woo energy drinks. That was a sponsor for AEW at a point, and then that dark side of the ring thing came out right when he was gonna come out there with Andrade, and he was gonna be like his manager, and they was like, "Eek." Yep.
Hey man, that pass is catching up with these boys though, man.
I see, man. I see.
It's coming to light. Because I mean, I've seen more people talk about Ultimate Warrior,
Mm-hmm.
talking about how racist he was, statements and all. Like, yeah, you got like people that stuff is really, really coming back though, man.
That's why it's such a big deal that Cena won 17 before he got out, because at least that's in the books now, and quote unquote, Cena's kind of been very squeaky clean.
Yeah.
And obviously he has to be because he's still very much active now in a different space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's crazy though, bro. Real crazy. Hey, so let me ask you this. So before we get on out of here, though, man, I think that the last time we talked, there was you mentioned that there was a very likely that Shannon Sharpe was gonna go ahead and get let go by ESPN. It was official, man, since we last met, though, bro. What we doing?
Um, Nothing really, man. Unfortunately, we knew this was gonna be a possibility. It's just whack on, like, they almost did him like Jonathan Majors, right? Where Jonathan Majors wasn't found guilty for the major portions of what he was being alleged to have happened, but Marvel was still like, "Oh, you was guilty of something. We got to cut ties." Like, as soon as the verdict came out, Marvel lets him go, right? And it's kind of the same thing. Like, Shannon was not found guilty of anything because they settled, right? But the point is Disney was still like, sorry, gotta let you go. I just think it's like, if they was just gonna cut ties, they should have just did it. As a matter of fact, they've already brought his replacement. I don't know who it is, but the one thing they did, he found out a couple of weeks ago, and he said the one thing I wanted to make sure was, like, my brother's being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Can we wait till after that? Because I don't want my stuff to overshadow his day. So
Right.
they did grant him that. And so yeah. But that's history in the making in itself, because you got two brothers that both made the Hall of Fame. So
Listen, and Peyton and Eli will likely be on there as well at some point, though. So, let me tell you this though, man. I think that is going to be interesting, though, bro. Because here's the thing: I think that is crazy. Because if the boy Mad Dog ain't on there, though, bro, I don't really see anybody else that they have out there with ESPN that has such a dynamic personality that could really go back and forth with Stephen A. Smith. It's like on some levels it could be on the opposite spectrum of him, but then also even the compliment. I think that it's weird because I think that the part that's always been interesting about the Shannon Sharpe, Stephen A. Smith, what worked to me is that when they complimented each other, let's say when they saw eye to eye on a particular take, it elevated that particular take, right? Because you had the someone's opinion of it, and then you had the supporting information that was also met by this extra big dynamic personality, right? And then even when it was the opposites, when they were on opposite ends of the spectrum, though, both of their personalities were so dynamic that you could butt heads on a conversation and it still be common ground where you just like, all right, this is my perspective strongly. This is my perspective strongly. And it made for entertaining and for entertaining TV to me. I just don't know. I mean, outside of because you can pick spots where people are good release, but I don't know who else you bring over. They brought
that
in
too.
Michael Irvin, and I thought it worked for a little while, and then Michael Irvin went to Fox, right?
Mhm.
So who else do you think they could have as a everyday? And even though let's say if you talk
Nah, nah,
about
I don't want the
um
everyday. Go back to the to
what
Shannon's
for
schedule.
football,
No, I can
Shannon was
tell.
there for football and
Right,
basketball.
but I'm saying, wasn't he on like 2 days a week or something like that?
He was on like 2 days a week for football. Like he was there, so he was there for the and Tuesday, Monday and Tuesdays, I believe. So 2 days a week, maybe three.
Okay.
But go ahead.
So if it's the 2 days a week, I think the two people that you could bring that it could work for just 2 days a week. One, which they probably won't do because of his issues, but I'm still gonna say it. They could bring back Skip Bayless,
I'm not mad at that.
and the other one, they could bring back the boy Max Kellerman.
They're not gonna bring back Max Kellerman.
They're not, but I'm saying all I'm saying is another good polarizing people to go at Stephen A for just 2 days a week, not every day. That's all I'm
No,
saying.
I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think that Max Kellerman. I thought that Max Kellerman was great, but to be quite honest with you, I think that Max Kellerman could be different in his own lane without Stephen A. I don't. I to me, I thought that they had some very outlandish takes. Right, Max Kellerman had some that were very. They were opinionated. They were outlandish. Right,
Mhm.
and so did Stephen A. I don't think that Max Kellerman's personality matched Stephen A's. And not to say that you gotta be the same. I just don't think that he had the same energy that I thought that Stephen A had. That I think that Shannon Sharpe would, or even Skip Bayless, though, right? I don't see Skip Bayless going, but I just don't. I think the Skip Bayless would work over Max to me. I don't, and
No, no, no.
Max kind of
I
strikes me as a guy
totally
that
agree
wouldn't.
that Skip Bayless will work better just because he just left another company and he's a familiar face and they have good back and forth, them two. So he's polarizing enough that that would work, especially for just 2 days, 2 days a week, not every day, but 2 days a week. I think that would work. Um, but
I would love
they
them
won't
two
bring,
and Mad Dog on
yeah,
there at the same time. That would be hilarious.
yeah, but they ain't gonna bring him back because he's settling too. So you would be a hypocrite to bring him and you just got
That's
rid of.
true.
So you couldn't do it.
Yeah, yeah. Good point. Good point. Again, I don't know who they would get to replace him. I mean, I guess you continue to have a panel of people, and it's a revolving. I guess that gives you some variety, but I
I
don't
got
know.
some. I got some other. I got another choice. Joy
Not
Taylor.
Lil Wayne.
Joy Taylor.
Okay, so I like Joy Taylor and I like having her there, but to me, she's the equivalent of adding a Molly,
I
right?
see.
I think
I disagree because Molly, while she does say a little bit of stuff, a little bit of takes, Joy has prided herself on being able to speak the lingo like the men. So like
I agree with you.
she's not just the
See,
eye candy. And I feel like Molly is to an extent. Like Molly does
I
give
think Molly is a okay. Here's what I think. Molly is a moderator,
she
and
is.
Joy is a personality. Right?
Yes.
She is.
Yes.
Yes, she is an analyst.
That's
Even
what I'm saying.
though Yeah, even though Molly's background is to be more of an analyst, I think that for the sake of the show, she is the moderator, the show mod. I can see that. I just don't. I like Joy Taylor. I think I would like her even more over ESPN. But again, her recent allegations ain't that much better than everybody else's though. So
But the difference is she would still be looked almost well, okay. I was about to say she would be looked more as the victim to an extent because she was the head person was sleeping with her according to the allegations, but she also has other allegations against her as well, so I get it. But I'm just saying you are right, they are pretty limited. They gonna have to pull a rabbit out of the hat to just really be like, okay, that's a great. But all of them people is gone. The truth is gone. What's my boy Keyshawn gone.
I thought Acho would be good. I like Acho though, bro. I thought that he was real dope.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. All of them just seem to have these everybody who you think that's been on TV outside of Acho has had some kind of little thing. So no, man. Oh no.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. But you did see that your girl Cardi B was at the SummerSlam.
she was, and she was looking
Yeah.
very Nikki-ish.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I
I
saw that as well.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she looked similar to Nikki, even though I was still happy because I mean, hey, they was bumping her song. They made it a hit.
Yeah.
So
I saw that. I thought that was pretty dope, man. But the other thing I was trying to see though, man, did you see before we get out of here, two things, relationships, man. Apparently, man, the girl Sha'Carri Richardson got into like a little scuffle at the airport with her with her boyfriend. And I thought that was crazy because I thought that the last time I checked, like Sha'Carri was with a chick though, bro.
mhm.
Like I was like, whoa, you know.
Oh, I
But I thought that
never knew that.
Oh yeah. And this is the thing. It's weird though, man, because I think that Shakari is somebody when the stage is there, it seems like everybody wants her to win. Now, granted, when you talk about Olympic athletes, though, man, you typically they're on the main stage for everybody to see. You know what I'm saying? Every 4 years. Now, when you are just a track fan, you might follow them through world championships and everything like that. And that's cool. But I think that everybody seems to root for her, though, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've seen her in the news for the wrong things a couple of times, though. Now, maybe it's because the wrong things are what's going to get headlines and nobody actually shows the good stuff or whatever though, man. But yeah, I think that I was kind of surprised that it happened though, bro. But like I was still rooting for it though, man. Like it was crazy though to see that though. Very random.
Yeah, that is pretty random. And but unfortunately, it's one of those things like she is still hood, and so she will. That's something she's not going to apologize for. Like she will continue to be herself. That's what I mean. I don't. When I say hood, I'm just saying,
She's from South
she
Oak
is
Cliff,
very much
Dallas, bro. Listen, she
right,
from
right. And
South
she's
Oak Cliff.
unapologetic.
Shout out to my boy Mailbox. He from South Oak Cliff, and he will tell you that people from South Oak Cliff will be quick to tell you I'm from South Oak Cliff, and that's how we get down out here, though,
Get
bro.
that. Yeah. What was the other thing?
On the other thing too, man, did you see Tiffany Haddish apparently had this picture, had a picture with her with a baby, and everybody's like, wait a minute now. Is that your baby? Or is that a picture with you and the baby? Because I saw her with Jason Lee in the
Yeah.
picture when I first saw it. Sounds like, wait a minute, did y'all just kind of go have like y'all surrogate with this baby or what's that though, man? But I think it was crazy because again, like Tiffany Haddish, it seemed like she fell out of the scene, like on the scene for a little minute. So this was the first time that I've seen her in a little while. And I was just sitting there thinking, like, God dang, you know what? Why? why haven't I seen anything from her? So I was like, what if she's been pregnant this whole time? But she doesn't look like, you know what I'm saying? This baby was a newborn. She's like, she ain't have no baby weight. So I don't know, bro. But yeah, congratulations on order. If that's really her baby though, man.
She got in trouble. Her and Corey Holcomb. Not Corey Holcomb.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Corey Holcomb. It was her and oh my gosh. Oh, I see his face. Aries Spears. Aries Spears.
Yeah.
They had that skit where
Yeah.
that's where she kind of went out of the limelight for a minute. She was still producing stuff, but
Yeah. I'm
yeah.
not gonna be mad. Like sometimes I think it's necessary to fuck because she was riding this high, and she had the whole she ready thing. And then it's just like when you reach that peak, people are starting to try to tear you down. And I think that sometimes though, you can ground yourself by saying, let me just fall back for a minute though, man. I'd be curious to see what else next big thing that she do is she try to bounce back. But that skit that came out with wasn't anything to play around with though, because I thought that there was that along with some other kind of allegations of some minors and everything like that from before that though. So that just didn't help it when that whole thing came out though. So I don't.
Right.
And I haven't seen Tiffany Haddish in at least a solid year to 2 years. When I say see her, I mean like at a big event or at a moment, a spotlight on her outside of this though, man. So very random that Sha'Carri as well, because again, Sha'Carri every 4 years, 2 years you see her though, man. And so yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, look, man, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. We are the Slash Brothers from ATL to OKC. We will see y'all next Tuesday, same time, same bat channel. And yeah, we out.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you
of
dig
all
it,
time.
sucker?